Live.
Live.
Blinkers off is back. Start to get people on here. I'll start sharing it. I'll let you kind of use the feeling, make
Yeah.
the filler here.
I wore the same shirt again today. Just noticed that.
So
we're back. Lots to talk about this weekend. Louisiana Derby and Sunland Derby. Everything. Right.
First 100-point race this weekend. Louisiana Derby.
Yeah, it's always the first 100-point race. It's always kind of a weird. I don't know what the word is. Timing. It's weird timing for horses that run in the Louisiana Derby and the Sunland Derby, because do they come back in 3 weeks for like the Arkansas Derby or the Lexington, or do they just go all the way to Kentucky, train up?
Yeah, the timing's weird. Like, I know that Spinoff is, or Pletcher's already said that about Spinoff. That's why they kind of picked this spot, because it fit both timing-wise leading up, and then also in case he needed a race or isn't just quite there yet, he can run him back in the Arkansas Derby. So
yeah, and we'll see what happens with that. I think Spinoff is a very interesting player this weekend.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that they took the Tampa route with him, because it seems like that's what's been working with the Pletcher horses the last couple of years. Magna Moon took the Tampa route before going to Oaklawn, and then Always Dreaming the Tampa route before winning the Florida Derby and ultimately the Kentucky Derby before he went away. I don't know what happened to that horse, but
where is he?
Hopefully he's
alive.
I mean, he's alive. I think we'd hear that, but hopefully he's on a breeding farm. I don't know where he went. Surely he'll have a stallion career. Just don't know where.
He dominated for a little while.
Yep.
But then you look back and you're like, how good was anything he was beating there?
Yeah, not very good. And you know what? We may be looking at a very similar Derby to that one this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about that right off the top of the show. Once we get started, I'm going to talk about this year's Kentucky Derby crop. We got a few things to say about them. It's an exciting group, very exciting group, right? Good races.
Yeah, I mean, the racing has been awesome. It's just been like a total head scratcher as to what the hell's happening.
Yeah, my family was at Oaklawn that goes to horse racing once a year, and it's Rebel usually, and they thought it was the best racing they had ever seen, because every race was a nose,
Right.
All four of the stakes races. So
the racing was awesome.
Oh, it was exciting.
You were there, so you can give us a firsthand.
Yeah. I like to talk about the trip. It was a good trip as well. So
okay.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's start recording. Super good. Test. All right. 3, 2, 1. What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This is Blinkers Off. What's up?
What is up, man?
Recording this a day early.
Yeah, a day early. Going to get it out of the way, and we could probably do this every Wednesday if people would draw like the fairgrounds and Sunland has.
I mean, I knew the field for this race, these races, before they ran the races on Saturday.
Yeah, and the Magic Mike Show talked a little bit about how these early draws are really, really nice for a lot of reasons. But I think the number one reason, and they touched on it, if you have a week to handicap a race and talk about a race, naturally, you're probably going to have more betting on the race, because people are hyping up, they're getting prepared, they're getting excited. I really wish for these big cards they would do it. Like, for example, next week is the Florida Derby. I bet we don't have those entries until maybe right now, next week.
Right.
Which is Wednesday.
Well, and it's like for people like us that are in the business, and it's like we would love to hype up a race a week before, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Slim, ever since he saw the entries, he's been hyping it up on social and stuff. So it's like, if we just knew, but like you say, by the time he's like, oh, that horse, like on Wednesday, you find out who's even going to be entered. Mm-hmm. By then, it's just like now you're having to get the podcast done, and having to do all this stuff, and it's hard to hype it up as much.
Yeah, it is. It is. So hopefully, Gulfstream's listening, and they'll get the draw out a little quicker next week. I remember for the Fountain of Youth, like it was 6:00 Central before I had the Fountain of Youth entries on Wednesday. So hopefully it's not like that, but we'll see.
All right, so we talked about it before we were live right now on YouTube. Before we got on there, you mentioned that we mentioned that you were at Oaklawn.
Yeah,
and how the racing was awesome.
Yeah,
obviously we watched it, but it was being there, just race after race was down the wire, and it's like it's not every day that Bob Baffert, who's won the Rebel I think 6 times, dominant. I mean, it's as of late especially. Just completely owns that race. Ships in 2 of his best, not of his, his 2 best horses. And a split Rebel and comes out empty-handed.
Yeah, it was really amazing, right? And both of them ran extremely well. I'll talk about that in just a second. But the day at Oaklawn was second to none. All 4 stakes races came down to very narrow margins. Just tremendous racing, tremendous weather. How about this? 45,000 people showed up for the split Rebel. I thought that was out of this world. And let me tell you, it felt like there were 45,000 people there. It was getting pretty packed.
And the handle, dude.
$16 million, yeah, it led the day in handle. So overall, just excited. It's exactly what I needed. I needed a day to say, wow, horse racing's still pretty freaking awesome.
And didn't you say that it was the 16 million wasn't that in the ballpark of Arkansas Derby?
It beat the Arkansas Derby.
Last year's Arkansas Derby?
It beat last year's Arkansas Derby.
That's amazing.
So it felt like a huge event because it was. I tell you, this Derby trail, right? It's just when you think, okay, we're going to get somebody, we're going to get this thing figured out. It blows up. Here is the big key that I'm noticing. No horse in this crop can overcome any kind of poor trip whatsoever. I'm not even talking about a bad trip. I'm just talking about a less than ideal trip. They can't overcome it. I saw a lot of people talking about Improbable and saying, well, he was 4 wide and 4 wide. So what do you think he's going to be in the Kentucky Derby with that running style?
Right.
You have to be able to overcome that as a favorite. Nobody can do it. Look at win in the Tampa Bay Derby. He's wide. He can't overcome it. He got 3rd. Look at Game Winner. Omaha Beach got the jump on him. He was a little wide coming to the turn. He couldn't overcome it because we don't have any stars in this crop. Not one. No, maybe one. We'll talk about him maybe later. But he's very green, hidden scroll. But Improbable, I've seen a lot of excuses. I've seen a lot of people say Drayden Van Dyke needs to be off him as far as the rider. He turned for home with like a 2.5, 3-length lead, and Long Range Toddy was chasing him home. Yeah. It's on the horse, guys. He's just not. He was not that caliber horse that we thought he was.
But when he turned for home, I was watching it on TV and I stood up and I yelled and I was like, "Here we go!"
It's over, yeah.
So I was telling my family and stuff like, "This is the horse. This is the our top Derby prospect."
Yep.
Going into the day, I was like, and then he pulled away. I was like, "Here we go. This is what you'd expect from the horse that you've hyped up and that is coming in the race is a lot of people's number 1 horse." And yeah, he just got caught. And it's. I know Long Range Toddy is improving, but it's like if you're at that level of what we thought he was, you don't get caught.
You can't let him beat you. Now I think Long Range Toddy proved that he is a legitimate prospect. I'm kind of with Mike Somich. I heard him talk about on the Magic Mike show. It's like I'm gonna have to probably see him do it again before I like him in a race like the Kentucky Derby because he hasn't ran that caliber of race his whole career. He's always been solid, but he was at another level in that race. So we'll see if he can continue to move forward. I do think he's one that's definitely on my radar now. I think I put him at like number 5 because he earned it. I mean, he ran down our number 1 horse.
Yeah.
So
I saw that you actually switched. You got Game Winner 1 now, and you dropped Improbable all the way from 1 to 6, I think.
I think if a horse was running a mile and 16th and he turns in front with a 3-length lead and he loses the race, what more can you say than that?
Yeah.
And now he's going to go longer. He's probably going to face better horses. I don't see how he's a top 5 prospect after that. I think I know it's a layoff. I think he'll run better next out. I do. I don't think he's the Kentucky Derby winner. Now, Game Winner, he was the opposite. He turned for home and Omaha Beach squirted away by a couple lengths, and he went out there and he tried to get him. He damn near got him. I mean, if you see the photo, it's really close. I thought that race was tremendous from both those horses. I think Game Winner will move forward off of it. Here's the deal, though. I have him ranked number 1, but I think the Derby, there's going to be like 8 horses. Whoever gets the best trip out of those 8, that's who's going to win it.
Yeah, I actually bumped him up. I kept him 1, 2, but I did put a Game Winner ahead because I was really impressed. And I didn't believe in Omaha Beach really at all. And golly, he ran well and he looked good.
Yeah.
Really, the top two finishers in each race.
Yeah.
You have no choice at this point but to say that they're legit as it gets, I guess, right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think those are going to be the top. Those out of those four, they're going to be the top 7 or 8 in the Derby for sure. You know, they're going to be in that mix. Galeen, we talked about him a little bit before we got on air. I think he ran well enough to go on, but I think he also showed he's probably not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to just say that I was right.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah,
maybe he's not quite as a turd as I said, but he did show that he's not at that level.
He's top 10, 15.
Yeah,
probably.
Which he got what 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So what he got? What was it like?
I can't
7.25. I don't know.
I guess as good as mine on the points and how they split them up.
But he got he's obviously he didn't get enough points. My point is he didn't get enough to say he got 7.5. So he's obviously got to, I don't know, I mean, I guess he probably, maybe with the Sunland Derby,
that's kind of what they'd said before, Sunland Derby.
But now all of a sudden you've got game winner heading there now and Roadster.
Yeah.
So
Omaha Beach, maybe.
Omaha Beach, and
maybe not.
So he needs second place. Galilean does to even make the gate at that point.
Tough,
and if he gets, 20, if he gets third, 27.5 is going to be tight.
Market King for Dwayne Lucas gets third in one of the races. I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's so typical.
I saw Bluegrass or Arkansas Derby for him next, so we'll see what happens there. I thought that was just hilarious, just a chuckle, And then Gunmetal Gray gets 4th in the race. I thought he was sure thing for 3rd, but he couldn't get past Market King. But yeah, the top 2 finishers are the ones.
I've never been so happy to remove Gunmetal Gray from my top 10 in the NTRA poll than I did, because I never liked him. It was just like you have to rank him because he did win a prep, and he's been right there,
second in another prep. So second.
But then he showed obviously he's not in that class level at all.
I do think he's a scary horse for the Superfecta in the Derby. I really do, because I don't think he's going to get tired, and I think he'll just keep running, and then he's going to be like in Silver Guard last year. I mean, he's that candidate, but he sucks, no doubt.
He'll probably finish 3rd in the Derby.
Yeah, probably. So this Derby, like I say, though, when you've got a bunch of horses that cannot overcome slow or poor trips at all, good luck.
And you mentioned Hidden Scroll a little bit. That speaks to him too, because he couldn't overcome a self-inflicted poor trip, but I mean, it was still, nonetheless, it cost him the race.
Is there any doubt in your mind, though, the key to the Kentucky Derby still runs through that horse?
No.
Because if he runs a Florida Derby race where he can show that he can relax early and he crushes, he's probably still the most impressive horse from a talent perspective.
So March 20th, we sit here, and I told you earlier today, I think from the best horse I've actually seen, like, talent-wise, I believe, run in 2019. It's him. From a pure talent, I mean, I realize you look at that and you're like, wow, how? I mean, he flatlined, he got 3rd, but it's like, you got to understand what he did.
Yeah.
I think if he can, we'll be there at the Florida Derby. If he can show that he's a little bit more mature, then there's no doubt about it. He should be one of the top choices.
If he wins the Florida Derby, I think he'll be ranked number 1. Because if he went, you can't win the Florida Derby running how he ran last time, just burning it up, and
With that said, he still only has 10 points.
That's right. So if
he can't get it right,
he's out.
He just can't get it. I mean, he's just maybe not mature enough at this level to. He might be a summer horse.
He's outside the top 20.
Yeah. So. I mean, Bill Mott though, to see this, and then you got Country House this weekend, and you got. I mean, he's got good problems right now.
Yes, he does.
But we'll get into all those. We'll get into the 2 big races this weekend, including Country House. Before we do. You know what's coming. Best thing Saturday.
So I got a funny one. If you're on Twitter, you've seen this picture. This made me laugh so hard. It's a picture of Pete Aiello and Norm Cassie, right? And they're at this little independent wrestling event.
Okay.
They're in a high school looking gym. There's probably 100 people there. And they're going this independent wrestler's coming down this the aisle, and they're going nuts, ready to clap his hand. I don't know. I just die. I've seen it for a week now, and I just die.
They
every
still
time.
have those, like in little tiny. I guess they do, right?
Yeah. So why I think this is funny I haven't ever said this on the air. This website's not my first website. You know that.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I had a wrestling website. We covered independent wrestling, like those kind of places they were at. Not though. I think they were in Florida. We did Missouri, obviously, and Oklahoma.
Despite that, we are friends.
Yeah, but anyway, it just it brought me back. It's like I think I could be really good friends with those guys if they're getting excited to see these
You're like texting them like, hey, where's that? I'd like to go next time I'm out there.
I know. Yeah, I think we have to do that. But yeah. No, that was the best thing I've seen. It's like, that's funny. I thought I was the only one that went to those events.
I never went to anything like that. I would go to when I was a kid, I used to be real big into like WCW.
Oh yeah, me too.
And so I would go to like the smaller events that would come to like Springfield, like at the Shrine.
The Shrine Mosque in Springfield.
So it'd still be like the WCW guys. Yeah. Like I remember seeing like DDP and I think Sting a few times. Yeah. Ric Flair I think came. Goldberg. Yeah. So of course I even went to a few back to back. I think it was like 2 years in a row. Was it Slamboree, I think, in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. No, 1 year I think was in St. Louis. The next year may have been Kansas City, I want to say. But I was there for all you, if there's anyone, like people are like, oh my gosh. I was there. Remember the year that they did the triple cage match?
Oh, yeah.
For Slamboree?
Yep.
Yeah, I was there for that one. So that was pretty cool. I think DDP won that.
No, David Arquette won that.
Oh yeah, that's right. But he was in it. DDP was in it.
DDP was in it. I think DDP helped David Arquette.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. But yeah, so I was probably like junior high. So I didn't have a lot of friends in junior high.
Me neither. I had one friend,
but I didn't have a website.
Yeah, I had one.
Okay, all
right, go ahead.
I'll keep nerding out.
Okay.
Best thing I saw today. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but the trailer for Stranger Things 3. Came out. The official trailer.
I haven't seen it.
Came out maybe today, maybe yesterday. I don't know, but I saw it today.
I'm gonna pull it up.
It's awesome.
Is it?
It's like seems like it's been so long since that's came out.
How long has it been? Seriously, I have no idea.
Well, I always felt like it used to come out in the fall.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think there was some people that might know. Like I feel like there was something that happened legally with that show, so they had to delay some air because it used to come out every fall. Because I remember going to traveling for the Brewers Cup or traveling around the fall time and always being able to watch those Stranger Things. Yeah. And it didn't come out this past fall, obviously, and now it's pushing back till I think July is when it comes out. So it's almost a year behind. So they've almost skipped a year, it seems like. So what was funny when you watch it is the kids actually, you're talking about adolescent kids.
Well, yeah, they've
grown, and so they look a little different.
Is it weird though?
I mean, it looks the same as the Stranger Things we love, and all the characters are in it, still the same characters. So, but that got me excited because I love that. You got me on it, and I watched it. I remember, it was one of my trips, and I just watched it straight through.
It's a strange show though because it's usually 6 episodes, I think, and they're an hour. So you literally watch it in one night, and then you wait 2 years for the next one. You know what I mean? If you take more than 2 days to watch Stranger Things, you're not really doing it right.
Yeah, you're not.
Right?
Yeah. I wish it was more episodes.
Me too.
Because I remember watching it. Because both times I waited till I think it was already the one time the first season it had already been out a year. Mm-hmm. So then I watched it, and then the second season was about to come out. So it was perfect because you're you don't have to wait very long. And so now it's been golly, I've watched the first 2 seasons basically back to back, and now I've waited a year and a half. To watch the next one.
That's the problem with the Netflix shows, man.
I know.
And Amazon and all those shows.
I'm in a lull right now. All my shows that I like to watch on Netflix are all waiting for another season.
Did you watch the one with Jim from The Office? Except he's a badass CIA guy now.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
you
watched that. Watch that one.
Is it good?
Yes, I mean it's good.
I watched not to just get into what we watched recently on the podcast, but last night I watched. It's brand new on Netflix. It's a movie. It's got Ben Affleck in it. And it's these military dudes that go to.
I haven't seen this.
What is it called? Hang on, let me.
War.
It's kind of like that, but only it's these guys that they're former military dudes, and they're out of the service and stuff, but then they've got this opportunity to where they can basically go after this drug lord type thing, but he's got all his money. And so that's like their payday. Because they've got the skills to do it on their own. And so, but let's just say it doesn't go as planned. Let's see, what is it called? Triple Frontier. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Magic. But yeah, so I watched that last night. I liked it. It was all right. It kind of depressing a little bit.
Depressing movie
at the end. No spoilers, but yeah.
There's a couple of documentaries out you need to watch. Free Solo.
Seen it. Awesome.
Okay. And I just saw it the other night. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's one other one. Ryan,
the party one?
Yes.
I need to see that
one. What's the name of
that
one? Ryan told us about it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The one where they like have this whole deal with the...
Yeah, it's a big bash that's going to happen.
Into total...
it's hilarious.
Yeah, Fry.
Yeah. Fry Music Festival or something like that. I think it's called Fry.
Like this dude is like being sued for like billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, wait till you see
and criminal charges as well for it all.
I say it's hilarious. Yes, Fry. It's hilarious because just how people are is why it's funny. If that makes sense. But anyway.
All right, enough of our movie review time. That is now over. Let's get to today's show. On today's show, we preview the weekend's 2 Kentucky Derby prep races, including the season's first 100-point race, the Louisiana Derby to Grade 2 at Fairgrounds. And, of course, on Sunday, the Sunland Derby, Grade 3 at Sunland Park. Let's go! Movie review. It's over.
That's right.
Sorry, guys.
We did wrestling and movies in the opening.
That didn't get people to stick around. I don't know what will.
Yep. So if you have any questions about movies or wrestling, ask them now because we're going to talk about racing from now on.
Sorry, guys. We have to get into what pays the bills here.
Oh, man. Or those when we grew up, like in our junior high school days, that was the glory days of professional wrestling.
I know.
It really is not what it used to be.
I'll never forget like being a kid and watching Nitro on Monday nights. And what was it? I joined right when you guys were talking and watching. I had no idea. We're still. It was the actual podcast, but no, call almost like I do now with you guys, with you. It's like, oh, that race, unbelievable. This is like, can you believe it? Sting had him.
Yeah,
he was gonna beat Goldberg.
Yeah, we always talk about that match, Goldberg and Sting.
Had him in the Scorpion Deathlock.
First of all, WCW is so stupid because if somebody's going to beat Goldberg,
it's not going to be on.
It's not Kevin. Nitro. Well, first of all, it's not Kevin freaking Nash that's going to do it.
But then at the same time,
you knew it
wasn't going to happen on Nitro. No. It's going to happen on a special event.
I know.
So in the back of your mind, you're like, I know this is not going to work.
But if you're going to get Goldberg beat, it needs to be like
a big guy.
Well, I mean, Kevin Nash was okay, but it needs to be like a legendary figure, not Kevin Nash. Stupid. But he was the booker at the time, so he booked himself to be Goldberg. See, we know a lot about wrestling. Okay, let's talk about Louisiana Derby.
Okay.
All
right. 3, 2, 1. All right, Saturday at the Fairgrounds. Race 13, it's the Louisiana Derby. It's a Grade 2. And again, it is the first official. It's kind of like when we get into that weird time where you have the Risen Star and the Southwest. Technically, it's different out of order because you have the Sunland that will be a 50-point race. But this is officially the first 100-point race on Saturday. 100 points to the winner, 40, 20, 10. So really, you finish 1-2 in this race. Regardless of how many points you have going in the race, you are in the Kentucky Derby. Before we get into the race, let's talk a little bit about what else we have on the card, because we're not going to rapid fire everything, but we wanted to at least kind of mention what, it's a stakes filled card really. But really, when you look at a couple of these other ones, you've got in the New Orleans handicap, you've got like Noble Indy who won this race. I mean, this is he won that. Can you believe this horse won that race? Lone Sailor, your favorite horse, Super Tappet.
He won the Louisiana Derby.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
Silver Dust.
Yeah.
You got Bandua, the horse that every time I see that horse, I think, and Copper Bullet and Core Belief. So that's at least a salty race. This one, man, that's what I'm looking forward to because Bandua's in here too. But the Munez Memorial, where you've got like the Desiderio, Synchrony, And your Pegasus Turf, the first edition winner, Bricks and Mortar, makes his first start since winning that race.
Yeah, Spectre Lindley also in the race. I mean, that's a really solid race.
Bricks and Mortar is 2-1 too. That's
I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to be about even money, but there's enough in that field to make that fun. I mean, Synchrony is really tough at Fairgrounds, so that's going to be a fun race.
And then besides the Louisiana Derby, the one that's most exciting is the Fairgrounds Oaks, because you've got number 2 Serengeti Empress, and it's like her kind of MO is like, what are you going to get today?
It's really interesting race because she's going to be every bit of 6-5, probably more like 2-5 or 3-5 the way she won that race. But you're right. What if she throws in her normal turd?
Yeah.
Then who wins? So this is going to be an interesting one. Do you have the guts to single that horse? That's the question.
I don't know if you call it guts or like stupidity, because I mean, no, I don't have the guts.
Where are you going to, well, I guess you're going to single Bricks and Mortar if you're not? Or are you just going to spread in every leg a little bit?
The thing is, like, I really like Synchrony.
I'm with you. I think I'd play them both.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to, if you're going, I mean, Serengeti Empress, you're like, thing is, like, okay, so if she doesn't win, if she does pull in her stinker here, then it's like, now what? How do you have any faith? Then I guess you wait for the which we'll talk about in a second, but it's Sunland. Mm-hmm. Maybe Chasing Yesterday is, but we haven't seen her since early December.
We're gonna find out what she's all about, right?
It's weird what's going on.
The Oaks is pretty crazy. I do think Serengeti Empress will have a pretty easy lead again because I just don't see a lot of speed signed on that's got her kind of speed anyway.
All right, so let's get to the main event here. That's race, like I said, race 13. This is like the first time going a mile and 8 for a lot of these horses. Grade 2, ran at 5:13 local time, and it obviously, it seems like it's been forever since we've seen this horses run because we've had so much happen between the two. Mm-hmm. But War Will 65 more than favorite. So I mean, he to a lot of people is the only, let's see how it's like the only thing that's worked so far. Like the only horse that's saying it's proven time and time again that he's the real deal.
Yeah.
But you've got Country House in here who looks to continue to improve off of that good second place effort last time against him on his debut in the stakes. Like we mentioned off air earlier, but you've got Todd Pletcher bringing in Spinoff, who's he's won this race a time or two. Mm-hmm. Then you got some, Bank It, Your Horse, Hog Creek Hustle, some of the originals, Mr. Money, Sueno from Oaklawn, who's been kind of flattered, I guess, with Long Range Toddy's running in the Rebel. So, I mean, what do you go with this? I mean, are you thinking is War of Will like? Is he the real deal to you?
I think I said it at the wrap up or the recap show. We did a recap show after War of Will 1.
We did, yeah. Which also feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it feels like years ago. But I said on that, a horse that makes his own trip like this is always going to be tough to beat because he's not going to get involved in the pace, but yet he's going to sit a little bit in a little bit better position than a Country House that's going to have to run him down, and it's going to be very tough for Country House to run down a horse like that. And also, I think War of Will has won his races with a little bit left in the tank. I also think a mile and 1/8 will be fine for him. It's really hard to see for me to see him lose here. I don't think Country House is quite good enough to beat him. I really don't. I think Spinoff could cause some trouble for him because I do think he's going to sit kind of in the same general area as War of Will, and if he doesn't get caught in the pace and they kind of stock together, well, then they're going to turn for home and they're head and head, and let's see if he can kick clear of him. I don't think he's had that kind of challenge yet in his races, and when you think about it, when he's asked to kick clear of horses at the top of the lane, he's done it fairly easily because they've either been dead tired or they're not any good. So if he's kicking on with another horse, I think that's a little bit of a challenge for him. Maybe if Spinoff can really apply the pressure down the lane and they're really going at it, maybe Country House sneaks up there. I think those are the only 3 horses that can win this race of the 3 I just mentioned. I just think War of Will is the most likely winner. I'm going to box everything because I do see a scenario where it could go Spinoff, War of Will, Country House, and that could pay pretty decent if we can just get him beat. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're betting a win, I mean, I know 6-5 is going to be tough to take. I actually think he might be more like 7 or 8-5. But I just, if Spinoff floats up where he's, 8 to 10 to 1, I don't think he's going to be 8 to 1, but he is 8 to 1 on the morning line. Maybe that's worth a play, If Country House floats up above 92, maybe that's worth a play. But really, I just think War of Will is the best horse in the race.
Yeah, but I mean, even if he is, like, I still don't know what does it really prove? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, because like if he does it again, is he really that good, or has it really just been a case that some of these fields have been weak at the fairgrounds? Okay, Magic's is not that he will win, but Lyman is getting a jockey change when Ricardo Santana to Jose Coutinho. How much does this impact the chance of not being 10 plus lengths off the early pace? So Lymanite gets a jockey change with Jose Ortiz. Actually, Hernandez rode him last time out in the Risen Star, but Santana had been on previously. I don't know. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with the jockeys in this horse, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the jockeys has been the problem.
No,
with who he's been. I think it's that he's very slow early on in the race.
Yeah, it's just, I wrote in the preview for Lymanite is he's never going to beat these horses that far off. So will they at least try?
Yeah,
I don't think it's a jockey so much as the trainer to say just ride him early. And
I will say he kind of reminds me, and you had a lemon drop, but he kind of reminds me of the kind of, not like he's better than those horses, but my point is like he kind of has that style to where it's like the longer you run, it's like he's just gonna keep kind of coming, you know. So I don't necessarily think he's a win candidate, but I would certainly not argue with you to say, hey, throw him in third and fourth spots. Because
third or fourth,
if the pace is a weird meltdown, or you know what, some of these horses just don't want to go at a mile and an eighth, I could see him getting the distance, and I don't think distance can be any concern. I could just see him continue coming and hit the board. So
the problem is if you're going to play a closer in this race, I mean, Country House is a closer. He's a proven closer.
The dead closer.
He's going to outrun the other horses in the back unless he just doesn't show up. I mean, he's proven time and time again now that he's going to come with a run.
Yeah. So let's talk about him, because I picked him in the Risen Star. I'll stick with him one more time because I do think he has the ability to win. I really do. I thought he could have won the race last time had he not had the lugging in issues. I just think he's a horse that has to continue to develop and improve. I really like that he's been working out with Yoshida, just because and Mott even said he's kind of a lazy workhorse. So Yoshida, obviously a grade 1 winner, an older mature horse, has been able to put the pressure on Country House and kind of so I think he's going to come into the race really fit. His workouts have been good coming in. And like you say, he's an awesome, big looking horse.
Good looking horse.
And he's got that move that comes, so I just think you give him a little bit of, seasoning, and you get that mile and an eighth, which, like you say, will benefit a lot, maybe like the Warfront horse, War of Will, but I think it also benefits Country House here as well. So he's going to be my top pick. Obviously, I have him and Spinoff in my fantasy league, so I'll be rooting for both of them.
Right.
Spinoff, he is super interesting. I don't know what we're gonna get. Pletcher has said that, which I liked. Both, he's like, if we can, this race makes sense because if it doesn't work or he doesn't win or whatever, we still have time to run him back in the Arkansas Derby. So that could tell you a couple things. Whether it's like, well, we don't know how. They liked how he's been working coming in, but obviously they don't know what level he's at right now. But he's royally bred. He's bred to get any distance, really. He should be tough. And if he runs like he ran in Tampa and improves off that, because he won by like 12 lengths in that race, and he was like lazy at the end. He was like had left in the tank, and he was wondering, who's coming now. So if he can get that run, I think Spinoff could, especially at 8 to 1. I'll be playing him too.
Yeah, I think both these horses of yours are definitely big time candidates. Yeah, you do for sure. Well, just the horses that are in the fantasy league, we already talked about Lymanite. I mean, it's just hard to see that horse winning. But maybe he can get up and hit the board. Sueno for the fans. I think that's a horse that can hit the board as well. These are horses that are just kind of going to be there at the end, but I don't think they can win. Dan has Mr. Money. I think we can kind of shut the door on him. I'll touch on Bankit for a second since he's mine.
Oh, I'm sure he'll win because you win everything.
The problem, well, that was a big win last week, but he has to be better than what he's ran at Oaklawn this year. He has to be, right? I mean, he almost won the Springboard Mile.
He's completely shut down since that day. Is what he's done at Oaklawn.
If he could run that Springboard Mile, he could hit the board here. But I mean,
that's long range toddy, So I mean, it's like obviously, but might be a case that one horse developed because this was a horse that had ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times if you count the springboard.
Yeah, did he peak a little?
Did he just get a peak a little bit, and then he got had some time off, and then he really didn't have much time off. He went from December 16th to January 25th. Maybe he just. Some horses just don't turn the corner after that.
He just has never picked up his feet.
Boy, not even close, really.
So, I mean, maybe the only hope for him is a new track. Maybe the new track. Maybe he just hated Oaklawn. He'll come to Fairgrounds. I think the long stretch will probably help. But I just can't. I can't get too excited about it. I put him as like a party crasher, because it's like if he wakes up and runs well, I think he could be a one to hit the board at a huge price. But you could say the same thing about Lime and I, really.
Yeah.
So, but again, there's 3 win contenders. I don't care which one of them wins the race because if Country House, Spinoff, or War of Will wins, we're going to cash tickets.
What I'd like to see happen is Country House win.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets, he's in, he's already, win, he's definitely in the Derby. But win, so I have my Derby horse.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Spinoff get second. Then so Pletcher's like, you know what? He's in, but let's get him in the Arkansas Derby because let's get him. He needs a little more seasoning.
Yep.
So then I'm getting that extra race, and then I don't care where
Sueno. Let's get Sueno.
Okay, Sueno can get third. Yeah, because for the fans, do one for the fans.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get 75 points out of this race. That would be awesome.
That would be great for you.
That would be a big win. Yeah. And with the potential of Spinoff. But if things go the way they've gone, I'll be looking at 10 points, which means 5 points for each of them starting in the race. And at this point, the way my luck's gone, let's hope they start in the damn race because we saw earlier, you said, hey, great attempt. Your horse is in a race. I'm like, sweet. We looked, and it's a sprint. So
great attempt is in the gazebo. Yep.
Do I get points for that? Because he should win.
You don't.
Okay. Maybe this is a gazebo. It's the famous gazebo to Arkansas Derby route.
Right, yes. That's happened before.
Who was it?
I'll tell you in the next segment.
Okay, you got to look it up. All right, you're going to go with the old, the horse that keeps winning out there. Can't fault you that. Will. I'm going to go with my horse, the horse I'm going to try one more time, number 8, Country House.
Okay. So we're off now?
Yeah.
All right, so I believe a Fleet Alex did it, but I didn't want to say it on the air and then it'd be wrong, so I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, this isn't the Magic Mike show. We check our facts.
Right, exactly.
Before we say it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, I don't think it was called the gazebo back then, but I'm pretty sure he ran in a sprint before the Arkansas. Yeah, it was called the Mountain Valley.
There you go.
Yeah.
Touch on it on the next segment here.
Okay.
What's up, Dennis? Yeah, it's not Thursday. We, we had the cards already out, and we had nothing to do today. So we're like, hell, let's get the sucker done. Why not, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Magic says saying something without checking first is 100%, 110% our job. Yeah, just like what is it? I want to make sure I get this right. Turf Way Park is in Arizona.
Yeah, really.
Something that's so good you used as the opening segment of your show.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
And we still allow him to have a show. I tells you.
Yeah. You're the editor, right, Magic?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Magic edits my stuff like my work great. Like never a mistake, never anything. But his own show, it's like, what?
What's up, Ronald? All right. We're going to talk Sunland next. So this year, it maybe came back a little bit weaker than we were hoping, or maybe deeper than we were hoping. You've got 2, though, in here. You've got 3 if you count Wicked Indeed, who's really looked good in the Mind That Bird. You got finished second. You got Hustle Up as well, who won the race. And then you've got the 2, I guess, quote-unquote, big shooters, Another Twist of Fate and Mucho.
Shrek Brown would have won this race if he was healthy. I agree, Magic. Are we going to talk about the Oaks, real quick?
Yeah, before we get into it.
All right. I won't say it now, then. Because I have a question to pose to you and anybody listening when you talk about the Oaks.
Well, I'm gonna talk. Let me pull it up.
Okay. Are we talking about any of the other ones? Probably not.
I don't really care to. No.
Okay. You don't want to talk about that sprint race?
I want to talk about Belfina versus Chase yesterday. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay. Well, Belfina's not running, though. Staying home.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about Chasing yesterday.
Okay.
Is it what sprint race? This Bill Thomas one?
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's a race Magic and I'll enjoy, but not you. So.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, you guys do that on your own time.
Classy class, and that's all.
Okay, let's do this.
All right.
3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to talk about Sunland. Before we do, you kind of left them on a cliffhanger the last show. Who was the horse?
Yeah, so Fleet Alex was the horse. He started in a sprint at Oakland Park, and back then it was not called the Gazebo. It was called the Mountain Valley Stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually he started sprint and then got 6th in the Rebel and then won the Arkansas Derby.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's so if he can do it, then so can Great Attempt.
There you
go. Okay. Yeah, so let's go to Sunday, following day. Sunday, the Sunland Derby, which is always kind of a cool event because it puts some highlights Sunland Park. And you've got one of Bob Baffert's 1,000 horses running in this one, Mucho Gusto, your horse, that looks to be very dominant, very possible winner, another winner for you. And then you've got another twist of fate in this race as well. Before we get into this race, though, I want to talk about the Oaks. And we talked about it on the opener a little bit and before, but it's like, the Oaks, we've been waiting so long to see this Baffert horse come back. I mean, and honestly, I had to look it up because I was like, when was the last? I mean, I remember it was like the Starlet, I think. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, I had to look it up. And that was like December, I want to say like 9th or something. That's how long it's been since we've seen her. Well, I see pictures of her, our guys out there that, record works and stuff, send me pictures all the time. She looks amazing, and I'm like, when are we going to see this horse run? Yeah. Well, here we go, Chasing yesterday, 9-5 on the morning line.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be Chasing yesterday versus Bellavina, but Bellavina is going to stay home and run in the Santa Anita Oaks. That's risky, though, that they run the Oaks. So, but anyway,
yeah, I'm saying.
So the question I have for you, and if anybody listening wants to answer it, what if Bellavina? Because Chasing yesterday is going to smoke this field. But what if Bellavina would have shown up for this race? Who would you have picked? Chasing yesterday or Bellavina?
Chasing yesterday, no even second question.
You would have picked Chasing yesterday to beat Bellavina.
Yeah, because it's a mile 16th race, and Bellavina is not going to do well.
Wow, that's a bomb right there.
Not even. I wouldn't even think about it.
Wow, I would pick Bellavina.
No. Belfina is a one-turn horse.
Wow. So we have one Bellavina, we have one Chasing yesterday, and we got people riding in. I think we had 1 and 1, right? So
yeah, well, Magic's vote doesn't count, and Dennis's counts for 2. So
right. Okay. So Bellavina or Chasing yesterday is the answer. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
I picked her in the Starlet against Mother, and that was kind of against the grain a little bit. And I don't know. I really think she's got the ability to be the Oaks winner.
I think a mile and a 16th would still be right where Bellavina wants. I think if it was a mile and 1/8,
yeah,
it's a little risky.
That's true. I definitely think the Kentucky Oaks is not her wheelhouse. Belfina's.
I think you're gonna get paid if you have that opinion and you can beat her.
Problem is, though, especially if Chasing yesterday comes back and looks awesome, then to me she's very much my top choice because she's proven that she's legit. Now, if she doesn't, or if she looks okay, and then it's like Serengeti Empress kind of runs, or maybe runs
Forget
flat.
Forget about her. Yeah.
The thing about Serengeti Empress, not to go back to that, but it's like you almost don't matter what she does because you don't know what you're gonna. She could run terrible this weekend, and you're like, well, big deal. She got to win by 20 next time.
She's the type of horse that I will probably have in the Oaks Try and Super, but I won't have her on top. Kind of like Omaha Beach last week. I had him in the Exacta, the Try, the Super, but I was just a little scared to put him on top. Now going forward, maybe not. But
Magic says a Baffert trainee making a 3-year-old debut off a long layoff. Yeah, that's worked really well this year. Well,
he's about running at Sunland. Magic,
also, maybe look at like the last 10 years and then come back to me on that one.
Yeah, I love the short-sightedness of that comment. Yeah.
This year it's happened twice.
Yeah.
So I'm really because I just have high hopes for Chasing yesterday.
Just real quick, let me say something about these people. Oh, well, they weren't ready and the bettors fell for it. Baffert horses don't need a damn race. They just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they might run a little better next time out, but those horses were ready. They just got beat.
And I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't, and that's why I stuck with them 1-2, because I heard, you heard it too, but like the call with Baffert after the race, he wasn't like even in the slightest upset with them not winning.
Remember something Baffert said at the very beginning: I don't have a Justify. I don't have American Pharoah this year.
Right.
I don't have that caliber of horse. We just saw it. He doesn't have that horse that can go 4 wide, and win by 6. He didn't have it this year.
Right.
So it was pretty good efforts. He lost 2 $750,000 races by a nose.
All for their debut as 3-year-olds.
A little bit better trip. Next time they'll win. I mean, but we're seeing regular horse racing, not racing where Baffert just has the best horse by a mile.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And guess what? He's got another one entered in the race we're going to talk about next. Because if this horse, Mucho Gusto, has a bad trip Sunday, he ain't winning.
So let's talk about the race.
Yep.
It's race 11 on the program on Sunday at Sunland Park, going a mile and 1/8. It's a grade 3. And again, it's I guess we'll call it, the other one was the first 100-point race. This is the last official 50-point race. 50, 20, 10, 5 for your top 4 finishers. And, Mucho Gusto, who's already got points, looks to just steal those points again from everyone. Another twist of fate in this race. I know our boy Paul has anxiously been waiting for this horse to return. And the thing about this guy is, like, he looked awesome. He looked unbelievable in El Camino. But again, he's ran his last 3 on synthetics. His one lone dirt start at Santa Anita in November was terrible. So it's a matter of, was it his first start and just he was bad? Was it a dirt thing? Because ever since then, he's looked very good. He's won by 4, he won by 5, he's won by 7 in his last 3 starts, including going a mile and 1/8 in the El Camino. So you have that kind of hanging over your head. If you believe he can run on any surface, then he's going to be very tough for Mucho. But Mucho Gusto, man, this is a horse, the only time he's been beat was by Improbable, who, he lost, I know, on Saturday. But, I mean, I still think he's the top 3 horse, that we've seen this year. Mucho Gusto could definitely go to number 1 with a big, powerful win here.
Well, I hope that happens. The thing about Mucho Gusto, usually Baffert doesn't send his best to Sunland, but I'm hoping the circumstances and the way they've had to kind of, juggle the schedule, that maybe the Sunland Derby is going to be used a little bit more seriously than it has in the past. I'm hoping that for my sake, for my fantasy team. I don't hold the first race on the dirt, which was his debut race. We're talking about another twist of fate. I don't hold that against him at all. Debut race, you're going 6 furlongs. He may not even be ready to run. I think he's a 2-turn horse. I mean, you look at his form on 2 turns, much better. I kind of draw a line through it. So that's really not my worry. Also, his speed is so solid, and he's at a track where speed really holds.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a handful in this race. I don't have a lot of worries that he's not going to hit the board here. I really think he's going to run a big one. And when you look at the other horses in the race, he's going up against, there's a couple horses in here that have some speed, but, I mean, do they have, like, actual legit Kentucky Derby prep quality speed? I'm not sure. He might be out by himself.
I mean, we'll find out, but... with Mucho drawing in the rail, and he's not like he comes way off the pace at all. And actually, last time out, we were like, wow, that showed us that he can sit off of it a little bit.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, if he ends up going, or him and another twist of fate are kind of out there 1-2, this could create something crazy happening, I guess.
Well, here's the deal, and this is why this race could get nuts. And I may play 4 horses in this race just for that fact. Not only does Mucho Gusto have speed and another twist of fate, the other horse is Hustle Up, who I think is the 3rd best horse in the race. He also has speed. Again, he has speed, but can he match up with another twist of fate, like a real quality horse? I'm not sure, but if he can, and like say from the rail to Alamo Sins, then all of a sudden you got something. My ideal situation would be the 2 and the 3 go out there with each other, and the 1 sitting in the right spot, about 2-3 lengths off. Then I think he's going to be dangerous. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Because if the 2 and 3 break well, and they're out in front, most of the other horses are going to drop back, and Mucho Gusto is going to be in that perfect spot. That's what I have in my mind, at least.
Do you have any notion or feeling that Cutting Humor, who was a total disappointment in the Southwest, but really whenever you look at his, the race prior, the allowance race with Bourbon War, I mean Bourbon War really flattered him. And that's what we kind of thought going in. He was a total bust in the Southwest. Is there anything there that you're like, he could bounce back and have something to say about it?
I had some professional handicappers that text me before the Southwest, and they said, "Boy, I really think Cutting Humor is going to be awfully tough to beat." One was an NHC qualifier. Okay, so it's not like some idiot. No, he is an idiot, but he's our idiot. But he texted me and he said, "Boy, all the stuff I use and the people I've talked to, this thing Cutting Humor is going to be really tough because they really like Bourbon War." Well, Bourbon War, like you said, he proved his worth.
There's a lot of people that really, Bourbon War is like top 5 to them.
When I say I'm using 4 horses in this race, there's your 4th one, Cutting Humor. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up. I think this horse is pretty decent. And I just think the last race was just a disaster. I mean, a total disaster. You had a disaster into the first turn. What were we just talking about? These horses aren't good enough to overcome trips.
That's a good example.
He got banged around. He almost went down, and he said, "The hell with it." Because why? Because we don't have elite horses in this crop. It's been proven. So, Cutting Humor, I think with a better trip, I think he's one that's going to sit in about 5th. 4 or 5 lengths off of it. I think they're going to have to come back to him a little bit. But if we get the speed duel you're thinking, I think they might come back to him.
Yeah, because the thing is, I remember talking about him a lot going into the Southwest. His back class is just so good. He's really been, he's got all the measurables that you would want as far as Harvey Wallbanger he got beat by, and then he got he beat or he won that maiden race, and then he got beat by Bourbon War, and so you're looking at Bikinis beat him on debut, who was a good horse at the time, and so it's like. He's got all his back class, so it's like I think if you're looking for a price and you want a horse that got a shot that's going to be not low price, and if the pace melts down, he'd be the one I'd go with. I wouldn't because Dennis mentioned as well. Wicked Indeed, Wicked Indeed is one for Steve Asmussen comes in here. And you sometimes you gotta be careful when Steve brings one of these in here like this that kind of looks like on paper like maybe just isn't quite good enough. He's got a way to bring in horses that run big races in this race.
He would be surprising to me if he won. He would not be surprising to me if he hit the board. I do think he's another one. He's going to need a little bit of pace out in front of him. His trip last time out in the Mind That Bird was not great. That's probably why Hustle. I don't want to say that's why Hustle Up won, but it helped Hustle Up win that race for sure. A local one has been successful in this race the last a couple of years anyway. So I think that's why Hustle Up is going to take some play. But, to me, it just comes down to the fact that I believe if Mucho Gusto is going to get the trip. And I think we have to start handicapping trips more than anything else this last round of preps after what we've seen.
It's funny because you know how and I've always said this, it's sometimes easier to handicap a maiden or a allowance race because they're all kind of, at least it's easier to handicap like a pace and stuff because they kind of tend to run all the same. They're all about the same level, but it's all about pace and that kind of situation. Whether you got the stakes types fields, but it's a little different. But in this year, it almost seems that way. Like you say, pace makes the race for all these horses.
Yep.
So you can really dive into these horses like, okay, they're all about like this. Like so far, what we've seen, there's really not enough to say that any of them are that much different than the other as far as like your top of each race, top tier horses.
Yeah.
So it's like you say, if you think that pace sets up the best for that horse,
pace and trips. That's been the story of it, right? The pace of
the pace, man.
The pace of the Florida Derby.
So you got to read Saratoga Slim's article at RacingNews.com. He talks a lot about how much the speed we've had in these first these preps and what that could do for the Kentucky Derby.
Think of the Florida Derby, Code of Honor, and Bourbon War. The pace, it just fell apart. They looked better than what they were.
Right.
You know what I mean? You look at the Gotham, High Cal. who would you rather own? High Cal or Instagram?
Right.
But the pace is set up perfect for him. And then the Rebels, it was trip. And then the Tampa Bay Derby, it was a little bit of both. It was trips and pace. You know?
Exactly.
So you it's playing more of a factor than normal because we don't have those horses that can either handle the pace or handle a little bit of a poor trip.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, this weekend, we keep saying it. Every weekend we find out.
No, we're not finding
more,
anything out.
And then it's like, oh wait, we got one thing answered, and we had 3 more questions after.
So real quick, who you pick? Who's on top for you? Hold
Mucho.
on. Okay,
Mucho
so we're
Gusto.
both going Mucho Gusto on top. Would you go more than the 2 horses? I mean, I'm going to play those 4. Like
Yes.
I said, you would go deeper.
I don't know if I would go. I would go 1, 2, cutting humor, whichever.
1, 2, 5. So 3, you don't believe in the local. That's fair. Real quick, you say, okay, we're going to learn something. What are we going to? I mean, the Louisiana Derby. If War of Will wins, I guess we learn that is he number 1?
But like I said earlier, though, it's like even if he wins, it's like. What did we learn? If we like none of these horses can ever beat him, then it's like, well, okay. Now if
maybe we learned that those horses can't win behind him.
Yeah, well, we know that. I think that's pretty clear. Like that's been proven. And then I think if like Spinoff if he really looks impressive and wins, then you're like, okay, now we have a horse that might be peaking right now at the time. Mm-hmm. If Country House like makes what he did last time and then turns it into something bigger, then you're like, okay, he's really legit. So you got those, I think, possibilities. In this race, we already kind of know what Mucho Gusto is. And even if he wins, if he beats, if Another Twist of Fate runs like shit, then you're like, well, he didn't like the dirt. So what did he really beat once again? Right. Mucho Gusto could walk his way into the Kentucky Derby with really zero, as far as the 2019 goes, zero testing, zero, anything. I mean, he had to beat Gunmetal Gray and Easy Shot.
And say Another Twist of Fate just doesn't like the dirt and runs poorly. He had to beat nobody.
And he could beat, and that's it. And he's in. So you had the easiest path possible.
Ever, yeah.
Now, if Another Twist of Fate if he does what he's been doing, and does it on the dirt, like it didn't make any difference, he has to become a very, very serious contender.
Top 5 or 6.
Yeah, for sure. Because if he makes it look that easily.
If he beats Mucho Gusto by 7, he's the real deal. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. Because he's been...
He's won by 4, 5, and 7 in his last 3 races.
So this one to me has got the most questions to be answered because we just don't know what Another Twist of Fate really is on dirt. And, Mucho Gusto, I guess... I think it all comes down to number 2, what he really is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on Mucho Gusto for the win. Right. Dennis asked a question earlier. We already talked about it, so I thought I'd wait. We talked about it earlier. We both have Game Winner currently as the best horse out of Game Winner and Improbable. Just because I don't know how you put Improbable ahead of him right now.
Yeah.
I'm not. In my rankings, I put him 1, 2. I switched him out. I did have Improbable as my top spot. And I switched him to Game Winner Improbable, so it's not like I'm off of him. I just felt like he was a better horse. And then, he's got to prove next time that he can win.
What was the question?
He just wanted to know what after Arkansas, basically, who's better, Improbable or Game Winner.
I think for the Kentucky Derby, Game Winner is better. Pedigree's a little better. I think he's going to get a mile and a quarter a little better. I think he's got a little more heart than Improbable. I think if Improbable had Game Winner's drive, will to win, I think Improbable would have won. Because Game Winner easily could have finished second by a length and a half, and you would have said, well, Omaha got the jump, he just couldn't make up ground. But he went after him.
There's a few things that I've been nervous about him that I've not really wanted to. I wanted to wait until I saw him again before because so a few things is he's not, and you saw it in person. He's not. He looks good. He's not big.
He's beautiful and he's small.
He's not overly, he's not like a big, lanky
girls
horse.
say about me.
Game Winner looks like a beast.
He looked great. Omaha Beach looked great.
I've had my concerns that he's not a mile and a quarter type horse. Not that, he looked like he may not be in the Rebel, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And the heart thing. He's had never really been tested other than that one race at Churchill Downs, which was against nobody, but he kind of showed that when tested that he couldn't do it.
And maybe he'll get better. Maybe he'll get better at that.
Yeah,
maybe
I'm not counting him out.
Yeah, I think he's going to improve. Do you guys want to know the best looking horse of the 2 Rebels as far as just
Omaha
looks?
Beach?
No.
Long Range Toddy?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't the all black horses. I just
Wait till you see him.
he's on your backdrop. I know.
Wait till you see him. I'm telling you, when he walks by, you think that is a stud. And probably when he walked by, he, like I said, he looked really good. He's a smaller horse. Game winner was not. Omaha Beach looked really good. Galilean looked really good. He looked good.
California bred horse that can't win out of California.
Gunmetal Gray is kind of cool looking.
Yeah,
like his coloring, but he doesn't really. He doesn't look like, a real stud. Just his coloring cool. But at Long Range Toddy, he is he's a
Black Beauty.
And he's a Black Beauty. Yes, he is. But yeah, I'm kind of starting to believe neither one of them's going to win it, though. I have game winner number 1 because I do think he's the most likely winner as of now. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
If there's any Baffert that's going to win it all, it's Roadster, just because of how I hate the horse.
I don't even have him ranked, and I think he could be the goods, but I also think he might get smoked.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. You guys got any questions? So let us know.
I don't think Omaha Beach will win it.
No.
I even though he's really grown on me, I don't think he'll win it.
He was very fortunate to get the trip he got and hold on. It may not work out that way.
I think if he goes a little longer, he'll get beat.
Yeah, maybe. I told you guys I like Proverb in race 3 at Arkansas. I liked him a bit too now.
Yeah, Proverb, very good performance. Another one, Proverb was good, and Warrior's Charge was good. I can't remember. I think it was the 5th race. So there was a couple nice maidens that come out of because hell, they ran maidens for $100,000.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk a little bit. Desmond couldn't get it done.
Yeah, Desmond, I think, was the best horse in the race, and the problem was he broke about as bad as you could break. I mean, just a horrible break, and it was foreshadowing for Baffert, that he was gonna have a rough day. Desmond, I don't think he's very good though.
Dude, I like Desmond, just to be clear, Slim, and but it's just like I'm getting really tired of the excuses.
Yeah.
First of all, obviously Baffert, there's a reason why he keeps running them in non-points races. Mm-hmm. He's a good, powerful looking horse. Mm-hmm. He runs well, really.
He was better looking than Improbable. It was very imposing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he looked nice, but he just doesn't have. I don't know. He just doesn't have that. Yeah, he keeps finding ways to.
Well,
and I'm sorry, but you get into these big, the final preps and obviously the Derby. It's like you ain't gonna win if you got.
He's just like everybody else. He can't overcome any kind of adversity because it's like all these horses. They don't have that punch at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That real bam, just finish and beat you and drive you into the ground. They don't have it. Mm. They don't have. And Desmond doesn't have that killer. I mean, it's not a killer instinct. It's the ability. He didn't have the ability to. Wow, I spot him 3 lengths. Now I'm going to go get him. He can't do it.
Right.
He's kind of a. I think 2 turns are gonna be okay for him.
But he won't work. I mean, it's just like he ran him I don't know.
Because he's not very good.
Lexington, Pat Day, Preakness, Belmont. Well, that seems encouraging, or seems unlikely considering what he's ran him so far.
I think the Pat Day would be a good race for him. But there's going to be a lot of good horses.
I can see the Pat Day being that for him.
Lexington would be okay for him.
But what's the Lexington? Isn't it we're 20 only? Mm-hmm. So he won't even get in.
No, he can't get in the Derby. He's not a Derby horse.
Don't even run him in there then.
I could see the Pat Day Preakness.
You can still run an allowance race.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's a non-winner.
I know, so you just might as well run him in. Mm-hmm. I guess for the purse, you run him in Lexington, but
yeah.
We'll see.
Pat Day's worth points in the league now. So
yeah. So is the that Oaklawn race.
Oaklawn Invitational. It's got Preakness Prep
and Peter Pan.
Peter Pan Belmont Prep.
So let's hope Intrepid. I hope Intrepid goes there. Baffert ran collected in Lexington, then Preakness.
Yeah, I don't think this is collected though. Although collected wasn't highly thought of.
Not at that time.
Not at that time.
No.
So maybe. If Desmond wins the Lexington, how collected won the Lexington, I'll be surprised. I'll be really surprised.
Slim has more Bafferts on his team than anyone else, and they don't run any races.
I know, good, yeah. Kingley's not very good either.
Yeah. So, but at least you have Bafferts because I dropped my only Baffert. So
yeah, I don't have a Baffert. No, I do have a Baffert.
The horse is gonna run.
I've got a little rat.
We just talked about him, you idiot. All right, let's close it up.
He's so bad that I don't even think of him, but he's getting better.
He got you 10 points in the El Camino against. Who did he beat?
Kingley?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. He sucks.
He did get you 10 points, though, and you drafted him, so that is 10 points in the good, so I give you that.
Kingley, you want to know who he beat? Listen to these monsters. More Ice, very, very prominent horse. Angelo's Pride, Weekly Call, Mayor Cobb, he's good. The Creep, he's awesome. Ray Coleman, Data Hawk, King of Speed, and Knight's Cross.
Ooh. Yeah, we were talking about earlier, Slim, federal case in the Hutchinson, so he's obviously backing off.
He's good, federal case.
Yeah, but you dropped him. That's what you wanted to see.
Federal case. Let me look at this Hutchinson real quick. Let's see, what race is that? Race 12. Oh, the huge field of 5 for the Hutchinson. He should win that. He should win that race.
Yeah.
Gladiator King's in the race.
That's your favorite horse.
Gladiator King and Federal Case. Must see TV. A 5-horse Hutchinson. Saturday at Gulfstream.
Slim. All right.
Topper T.
3, 2, 1. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. So tell me, check us out at racedudes.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our handicap products page. Click the handicap products page link on the menu at racedudes.com to learn more. You can now check out starting probably, I don't know, with the pre-sale hasn't started yet, but the inside track to the Florida Derby will be available next week. Mm-hmm. Obviously going to be a major card, and even the Florida Derby itself is going to be a great betting race. So we'll have a wagering guide for that, and you can get that obviously included for free if you subscribe to our premium picks. We're currently covering 20 tracks, all offering free picks. We're on Twitter at racer_dudes, Instagram, Google Plus, and Facebook. You'll see us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even our website at racerdudes.com. March Madness begins today, I guess, if you're listening to this on Thursday.
Yep.
I haven't really gotten into college basketball this year just because we've been so busy. Mm-hmm. But do you have have you filled out a bracket? Do you have a pick?
Yeah.
What do you got?
OU.
No. You just said they sucked the other day.
Yeah, they suck. They won't win a game. I like the Houston Cougars. That's my team.
Cougars.
The Cougs.
Cougs.
I love Cougars.
I'll go Duke. I like watching Zion play, so I'll just keep watching.
I went with like a dark horse. I think Duke, Gonzaga, they're gonna be right there.
Yeah, and then Gonzaga's always.
Yeah, and then the Houston Cougars.
I'm gonna have Cohen fill out my bracket. Actually,
that's a good idea.
I'm gonna ask him which. I'm gonna say both teams. He's gonna say which one he likes best. Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
I can't do, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
All right. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Alterman. Good luck this weekend. All right.
Go Cards.
Am I reading that? The 7 in the Fairgrounds Oaks. Really a South Carolina bred.
What's the question?
Slew good to be true. Is that a South Carolina bred?
In what race?
The Fairgrounds Oaks.
Fairgrounds Oaks. Let me look that up. Let's see if I can. What horse?
Slew
7. Yeah, South Carolina bred.
One of those good old South Carolina breds.
2 wins in a row. Who has that horse? Peter Erden has that horse.
All right, you guys have any questions, comments before we get off here? Yeah, so talking about Dubai Magic, we're getting closer to that. Obviously, the Florida Derby is I always remember the Dubai could be on that same day. It's going to be a really good day of racing all day long. But then you got of course in the morning you have Dubai World Cup and the UAE Derby, and of course the main event to me is that sprint, the Golden Shaheen, the one that Biscuits won last year.
2 years.
2 years ago, I guess.
2 years
in a row. I mean,
yeah,
but that epic one last year. Unbelievable, the field that's lining up for this one.
Yeah.
The speed of Promise Field, Imperial Hint, XY Jet. Who's the other one? I'm missing one more.
Imperial Hint, Roy H.
Roy H, yes, of course. And so you really, that's your, besides Biscuits, you've got, you just need him in there, and you'd have the same top 3 as last year.
Good race. Really good
Tons of speed. I'm excited to see, Promise Field, he's fast.
He's really good. Carter is such an underrated race.
Okay. Slim, who's gonna win the? Who's your early Met Mile winner?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Come on, Slim. People want to know.
Early Met Mile winner.
Met Mile. We got a couple months. Who is it?
Early Met Mile winner.
The Met Mile is, you talk about underrated race. It's not really underrated, but just with the Belmont and stuff you got going on, it sometimes it's kind of overlooked until it happens. But the Met Mile is a sire making race, you know.
Yep. No doubt. Matoli.
If he's healthy.
Matoli can't stay healthy. No, it's not gonna be him.
Wrap him up maybe, and then
I don't think he can run a mile. Ravazzo in the Met Mile, that's funny. McKenzie, McKenzie could be a Met Mile. Yeah, he ran really good at 7 furlongs. A mile might suit him pretty well. It's a good answer.
New York Central, that's my pick.
That's a bad answer.
New York Central.
I do think he's got a decent year ahead of him, New York Central.
I think they'll shoot for it. I don't know if he's good enough to win it.
Keep being nice. Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to go Santa Anita handicap Met Mile. Whenever they run the Santa Anita handicap.
I like it.
Yep.
If they run McKenzie in the Met Mile, he's got a strong shot.
Yep.
All right. You guys have anything else to add?
He kept him at Mile. Interesting. Yeah. Who wins the Sexton Mile is my pick.
That'll work again.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Shit.
B Jersey.
B Jersey never was seen again. After that day.
No, he laid it all on the line. Boy,
Slim. I think I've never seen Slim freak out more than that race. So.
B Jersey and Mind Your Biscuits. Boy, that was close. That was a hell of a race.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't one person in that entire place that didn't know that Slim had B Jersey.
And the Raptors, they knew about that. Yeah, B Jersey won me so much money.
Yeah, we know. Everyone knew.
Oh, that was a fun day.
Good time. Hey, by the way, speaking of that fun day, I am in the Hall of Fame. Just saying.
Oh, there you go. My arm is.
Your arm. Yep. But I'm pretty much me, prime and center.
Right.
And Justify, but mostly me.
Right, Slim. Slim actually is in the Hall of Fame. He's in a picture.
Yeah, he's in more ways than one. Yeah,
right.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's in a few Hall of Fames, if you know what I mean.
What?
They took that photo down.
Probably because
of you.
Halterman's arm was in
it. I thought it was my dick.
Probably because Slim is acting weird around it.
Right. It was in the
Slim kept showing up. Like, dude, you got to get out of here. Like, we're gonna take this down.
Slim, how many Hall of Fames are you in? That's the last question, then we're getting off the air. This chick from DRF took it. What chick from DRF? Barbara Livingston?
All right, that's
Is that
I gotta get an answer.
He's in the Rap Hall of Fame.
He's in the Money Long Hall of Fame.
Slim was in the first entry to the Money Long Hall of Fame. That's kind of what I was getting at.
All right, Dennis. Yeah, we're gonna get off here. So
yep.
After that, we're definitely gonna live on that Money Long. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Later. Good luck in Louisiana Derby, Sunland Derby. Probably have more questions and answers afterwards.
Yeah.